So I would love to get married again, but now it seems like men don't want to get married anymore. Like, why is this? Can't we just get a prenup and be married? What is the real reason men don't want to get married anymore? Is it money? Is it they've already had half of their stuff taken from a divorce, so they're bitter? I'm really curious.
I don't want to be your second husband. You get what I mean? Like, Nestor, do you want to be this lady's second husband?
No, she's making it sound like getting married. She makes it sound like a hobby or something.
It's like something to do.
Yeah.
like what? You know how much a wedding costs? Usually, I've been to 4 weddings in the past 2 years. No one had crab cakes. The wedding I went to, the dude there, they were literally making a wager on how long the marriage was going to last. They both thoroughly did not think that this relationship was going to last. Meanwhile, we're sitting there eating phenomenal finger foods. I'm not kidding. That really happened. I remember being like, what? For real? Like, they seem like a good match. He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, this wedding's a sham. I was like, what?
And what he said is fantastic, because that's exactly what these modern women think it is. It's a hobby. It's just something to do. Oh man, this is what I've been dreaming of. Oh man, it's about to happen. Spare no expense. A hobby for them.
Key problem I have with marriage as it is done currently here in the West and in other places, but certainly the clay in which I work, is that there are certain promises the law can enforce, and there are certain promises it can't. So if we acknowledge, if we say the quiet part out loud, that in the majority of heterosexual marriages, the man brings protection and providing, and the woman brings kindness, warmth, and care, right? And sex. That's the economy. That's the economy. I didn't make that up. Don't get fucking mad at me in the comments. I didn't make it up. It was here before me. It's going to be here after me. I promise, right? So that's the game. That's the economy. His roles, his obligations are enforceable by law. So state power can be used to enforce his obligations, not hers. The court cannot order her to be nice to him, or to fuck him, or to stay pretty, or to stay sweet and friendly to him and kind to him, or speak nicely of him, or raise the children in a meaningful way that, creates value to him instead of teaching them to disrespect him, right? But his promises in that, shelter, food, financial obligations, court can force you to do that. And if you don't do it, they can put you in jail, or they can take away your driver's license, your professional licenses. So what is that? When you have a contract where only one side is enforceable by law, under penalty of law, like, that is a dangerous game to play if you're a man. Period.
Ladies, here's the thing. We want men to be husbands. We want the rings and the things. But family, we cannot advocate for marriage without addressing the full picture, the elephant in the room. Women aren't bred to be wives today. Past generations have raised us up to pursue a career. Forget the man. He's an afterthought. Because when the man act up, you have an out. That degree that you can fall back on. And now, family, we have women who have been bred to be more of a husband than a wife. Let's keep it real. What is society teaching us? Look at the propaganda. Look at the social media. We can't continue to come at men for their lack of commitment, but not also state the obvious. There's a shortage of women worth making long-term or lifelong commitments to. We aren't training up wives. We're training up hypersexual, petty, money-hungry, cannot take any accountability, insecure, immature, women that can't even cover a pot, let alone a man. Women with the mentality that anything goes as long as I'm making $1 from it. Hyper-independent, attention-seeking, career-obsessed, not nurturing, selfish, girlfriend at best women. We want men to lock things down. And I agree, men should. But we gotta give them something worth committing to. And our media isn't pushing that agenda. It's keeping us single. So family, ladies, stop buying the lies of culture. That's what's keeping us single. Let us start focus on becoming the wife that God has created you to be.
They are able to claim that woman as theirs. And
but name one benefit that they would get in a marriage that they wouldn't get in a regular relationship.
Well, I think even though it's not 100%, there's peace of mind that that woman is going to be loyal to you.
The answer is there's none. You're dancing around it. There is none. So my thing is this. I think it's in a man's best interest to stay Peter Pan, as you would say. And I think women shame men because men gain their value in their 40s. Men understand the sexual marketplace better. They understand that women have no leverage in their 40s, and they date down and they get younger, more attractive girls, and that's the best way to go in today's day and age, where we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace where women could take everything they got, take their kids, etc. Why the hell would a guy want to commit to women nowadays when honestly we got inflation?
A lot of women like to ask the question, why aren't men getting married anymore? Where's the brutal, honest truth? A lot of men are not getting married anymore because this is the result. After working hard in a relationship for however many years of your life, sacrificing your time, your money, your energy, your love, just to walk away with nothing. Just to walk away with your stuff packed away in a vehicle and what you can fit. So if you had the opportunity to get married, ladies, if you were a man, would you? Put a comment below and let me know.
Why do you think nobody gets married anymore?
Social media. I think a lot of women and men, it's transactional. People just want money and they want status.
Correct. It used to be a very simple transaction, and women no longer stick to their side of the transaction. The transaction was simple. You're a virgin who listens to me, and I take care of you and pay all of your bills. I will put you in a house. I will give you children. I'll work in the factory. You're going to do as I can say, and you're not going to fuck any other dudes. Women are not sticking to their side of the deal anymore. That's why any man with a brain doesn't get married, because what is he getting? He is signing up to be raped by the government. It makes no sense. He may get married, but he's not getting a wife.
Why are you men? I'm just confused at why you men are sitting if you're so unhappy.
It's our job.
Tell you. I can tell you why.
Yeah.
No, it's our job. It's our.
Hold on, Fatty.
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. No, because you asked I answered you, and you asked the same question. It's our job.
I don't agree with you with that being your job.
Okay, well, I'll pass it to Jade.
A few things to add. So one, I think with the mindset of like, why are you staying if you're not happy? I think that's something you have to die to before you become a wife, because it's the role of being a wife to be there even if you're unhappy just for a man. And they've learned that because they have different consequences in society. If a man goes out, I mean, most of the time, everyone's not only going to blame them for the reason why the marriage failed, even if it was fully the woman. She went and slept with another man. I've watched this with my own eyes, where I was mainly the cause due to my emotions. I wasn't a cheater, but I was the cause with my emotions, and everybody blamed my husband. So I've watched with the physical, like men have the consequences. That's why they stay. Women, we leave, all the women come together and say, we're just so happy that you're happy. You know, even if a woman cheats, like, well, he wasn't doing his job anyways. And so we get coddled with our emotions. So men stay because they know that there's consequences to it. And actually, women do need to be held accountable. And we don't have shame anymore. We don't. Feminism did a great job at it so that we don't feel any type of guilt, any type of shame for the consequences. And that's why we're leaving. That's why I think we're leaving. And the second thing I wanted to add was that, so in the very beginning of our marriage, I did try to leave my marriage. I sat down, I was in a group of people that had borderline personality disorder. That's why these people were leaving the relationship, and it was all women. There was one man with borderline personality disorder. The psychologist said women are getting diagnosed with BPD far more than men are, twice more than men are, which what BPD really is you can't regulate your emotions. So women are leaving due to they can't handle stress, they can't handle negative emotions. When they feel negative emotions, they think the most extreme. I'm going to just leave my situation. I'm not happy. It feels terrible. It feels horrible. Men are built better at handling negative emotions. I've watched it from my husband. I mean, I could come at him and say the most nastiest thing when I was younger, and he could handle it. He wouldn't call me the B word. He wouldn't lash back out. He can take it. But if, God forbid, he did that to me, I mean, it's World War III. I'm going to divorce you, right? You also see that women be putting their hands on men all the time. And that's also, I talked to a cop. He's been in the field for, 30 years? He said there is far more cases that aren't talked about where women are throwing their hands on these men, drawing blood, everything. Some of these women can really fight, especially you a black woman or Hispanics, they be having knives. That's what he told me. These men aren't even calling the police. But a woman's almost always going to call the police. But a man could take the punches and the hits.
So basically what Fatty and all the men were describing is duty. And Jada did a really good job in describing it as where men are going to be blamed regardless. Men have not duty just only to relationships with their wives, but in life. It's your duty as a man to provide, protect. It's your duty as a man to be successful. It's your duty as a man to work hard. Men are held to a higher standard to do the right thing or at least be somewhere, on a positive trajectory. If a woman is poor, destitute, to make all the fucking horrible decisions, this is why welfare is for women, right? 90% of welfare goes to women. Why? Because women can make mistakes. Women can make poor decisions, and you're supposed to have a safety net for women. Men are not the same thing. That's why men have a much higher homeless rate than women do, because society doesn't look at men the same they look at women.
I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody. I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet.
This is exactly why so many men don't want to get married. Because they could be the most loyal, hardworking, honest, good man, but then they end up divorced. That is scary, because if he's literally doing nothing wrong, then what can he fix? But here this man is. He's already doing everything. What's even worse is that this has been going on in her head for 10 years. He probably had no clue, and then she'll give him 6 months to somehow fix it after it's been going on for more than 10 years. It's so unfair. And this is what men mean when they say that it came out of nowhere, that they were blindsided. She blindsided him. She can't say that, well, she told him 6 months ago that it was a problem and it needed to be fixed, and then they end up in divorce, and then she claimed that she didn't blindside him. You did blindside him.
67% of marriages end in divorce, right? But 80% of them are initiated by women. You think divorce is this, sort of this equaling the playing field thing for men and women, but it's not. It's mostly women leaving their men, leaving their husbands, destroying their families, strong, independent. Now, 93% of alimony is paid for men to women, so you can leave your man, but you can take all his money. It doesn't go the other way around. So if women are so strong and independent, why is that the case? Why isn't it the other way around? Well, 83% of women receive primary custody of their children. Those may seem like wins, but 72% of inmates in state prisons were raised by single mothers. So having babies, taking the money, taking the baby is only putting your children in jail. It's not helping anyone. So feminism, congratulations.
A lot of this stuff, when you look at the numbers of it, is problematic. Modern women don't see an issue with it because they feel like they're getting the upper hand. Oh, I'm the rightful person to do it because I'm so much better than he is. Not understanding and realizing, this is a long term. Modern women think short term. This is a long term thing. You got to keep on doing this. They don't understand that. And a lot of them start to fail because they don't know what the heck they're doing.
I'm going to lose some followers for this one. I might even get canceled. But it's all good because it's the truth anyway. I'm in the middle of this workout and I said I got to tell these folks this because we had a coaching call this morning. And I had to tell these brothers, listen, it's never the wrong decision to call off a wedding. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far as saying, when you call off a wedding, it's almost always the right decision. Always. Either A, you wasn't ready. Either B, if you called it off because you was afraid, you wasn't ready. C, if you called off the wedding because you had some stuff going on and it came out, it's always the right decision. Because look, a wedding is one thing. A marriage is something completely different. Let me tell you something right now. A wedding is just it's the trailer. But then there's a movie you got to sit and watch through. You can skip them trailers, right? But the movie is what you need to be focusing on. And I'm trying to tell y'all right now, some of y'all, you engage, you walking around talking about this is my fiance, fiance. And what y'all have done is y'all made the wrong move. Y'all have decided to get married. Y'all have bought stuff. Y'all have made reservations. People planning to show up. Money has been spent. And you have done nothing to prepare for this marriage. You've done everything to prepare for the wedding. And you've done nothing to prepare for the marriage. I see this is a trend. And I know some of y'all mad at that because y'all want the gram to be happy about you getting married. Listen, the marriage is the concern. It ain't the wedding. Some of y'all right now, I'm just telling you, call it off. Get the help that you need. Step back. Look at this thing. Examine it. Analyze it. Pray over this thing. And then here's the other thing I want to say. Second point. Calling off a wedding is almost always the right decision. Calling off a marriage, now you need to slow down. You need to think about this. You need to count the cost. You need to get counsel. You need to get advice. All right, that's all I got today. But be wise. You hear me? Be wise. All right.
I'm not going to get a job because I take care of our children.
The kids are at school for 8 hours a day.
I'm just so sick and tired of being with a broke honestly. All of our friends have so much more money than us. It's their houses are nicer, they have nicer things. Like, I've been telling you for years that, like, I want you to pamper me. I deserve to be treated like I'm a queen, and you're not doing that.
I work all day, every day. I provide you with this fucking place, right?
But it's not enough.
Then get a job too.
I'm not going to get a job because I take care of our children.
The kids are at school for 8 hours a day. What are you taking care of?
The man of the house is to be taking care of your family, to provide for your family. I should not have to do any of that. I take care of our kids. I am not. This is why I had to create a Tinder.
Yeah, no, that's not why you created a Tinder.
Yes, it is.
No.
Then tell me why I created a Tinder.
Because you're a hoe.
No, I'm not. I created a Tinder because my husband doesn't make enough money.
Ugh. Ugh.
There's a lot of men out here married that don't have wives. All right. There's a lot of men out here that are married that don't have wives. Baby, she don't cook for you. She barely clean. All she do is complain. She's never satisfied. She barely satisfies you. She don't ask you how your day been. She don't try to bring ease to your mind. She don't come up with resolutions for nothing. She depends on you for every single thing. She doesn't appreciate you and the things that you do for her. She does not love you unconditionally. She makes everything about her. She's out here picking fights and arguments for no apparent reason. She doesn't wash your clothes. She doesn't fold them up. She expects you to take care of every single thing. I mean, at this point, you got a daughter on your hands. It's about to be a new year. Get it together. Know your worth.
Get you a wife that's going to take care of you when you're sick and put you first.
Would y'all marry again?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, damn. Why does the man saying hell no and the woman saying I would?
I would.
Anytime I went to a bar, even when I was 21, 22, whatever, I go to a bar and there'd be like an older guy at the bar or whatever. But an older man would always tell, if he'd be like, you married, you got kids? And if I ever said no, he would be like, never get married. An older man has never came to me at any point of my development as a man and ever said, man, you should really get married.
I was raised to get married.
So
That's
was
all
I.
I've
But listen,
heard.
these older men you meet that are at the bar, not with their wife at night, none of them are ever like, yeah, man, you
Well,
should
they're at the
be
bar for a reason.
Right,
They're trying
no,
to
for
drown
sure.
their sorrows because they got married to somebody that they don't love
don't
anymore.
do that. Maybe they, what Tom's describing in the wife. Yeah, maybe they're dealing with what Tom was talking about. So now we get told not to do it by so many. So like seeing Tom say hell no,
Well, but I'm saying hell no because of my age and I've been through it and it has not been necessarily a good thing and I'm enjoying my life now.
Got you. And the emphasis on absolutely not is what a lot of men say. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I'm never doing it ever again. I'm never getting married. I'd rather my peace. I'd rather stay away from all of the drama that she's trying to bring into my life.
Yo, I dead don't think I'm gonna get married, bro. Because how I'm gonna propose, like, bro, I'm not getting on a knee, bro. I'm not getting, that just looks like you're begging, like, oh, please. But, like, I'm gonna stand, give it to her, she don't want it, and, I mean, to me, it just looks weird. You looking up at her like this, like, nah, that look crazy, bro.
Why do men keep getting married? Fuck if I know. I mean, I honestly, like these days, I don't know what's in it for a man. Like there's no upside in my mind for a man to get married. It doesn't create faithfulness on the part of a woman. It doesn't create security in terms of finances for him. It doesn't create security in terms of his kids going forward if they actually go through a divorce. Like, what's the upside here? Somebody explain it to me.
You want to learn more about how to fight this stuff, go check out dadslawschool.com.
The counter argument is, well, if I'm single, I can just be all in and work hard. Data actually shows married men make a substantial more money than single men. Same age, same demographic, married men actually make way more money than single men.
Interesting.
A lot of men our age say, I'm not gonna get married, I have a girlfriend or whatever, because I wanna focus on my career. And I go, really, if you wanna focus on your career and actually make more money, get married. Get married to a lifelong companion that's committed to you. You'd be surprised how much money you end up making. When you're committed through a marriage contract, there's something psychologically, men respond to duty more than, any other creature I feel like on earth. Men have to have duty, they have to have responsibility. Otherwise, most men sit at home and play video games and don't do much. And when they're called to a duty, men rise typically. And marriage calls you to a higher duty to be a stronger, bigger, better, faster human of your, whatever you are. And I think it psychologically changes the way you approach money.
That's amazing.
I see where he's coming from because the statistics do show this, but I think what's going to happen with a lot of men is that they're going to say, well, I've worked for 8 years, I've worked for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and she just blew it up. So, I mean, yeah, I worked more, I worked hard, made a lot of money, but she just walked out the door with 50, 60% of it. Man, I mean, working all that time just for her to walk out the door with it.
4 times divorce, 4 times. Let's see, you tell me. What do you want to know?
What is the most toxic thing that you've ever done?
Okay, let's do this. All right, take them to court and then get a good divorce lawyer, of course. Take them for half of the retirement. Take them half of their property and then fight them for higher child support, okay? And a couple of years from now, hit you up for more child support every 3 years. Every 3 years, you go up from maybe 200 to 300 to 400 to 500. You bring it up to $2,000 per child.
You gotta be the most fucked up person I've ever fucking experienced, besides my ex-wife, who did exactly the same thing and still tortures me to this day. Wanna know why she does? Because she's miserable with herself, even though she's remarried, even though she pretends she's happy. I divorced her. She took me to the cleaners over and over again. And guess what? I came back over and over again. Because you can't take what I know in my fucking brain. So Susie, for you, I give you a big mwah for making me so strong. And a big mwah for knowing what a truly good woman is that I sleep next to every night. You couldn't even shine her shoes. Let's go.
It is dangerous for young men to get married. They do not know what they're signing up for. No woman is a guarantee. There are homeschooled virgins that divorce their husbands. Those are all facts. It does not make sense for men to get married in 2024. This statement is simply a fact. It is just a fact. Facts do not care about the way you feel. Many times when I say this, my critics, my detractors will come at me and they'll say, Pearl, But don't you want to get married? But Pearl, are you just a doomer? Da-da-da-da-da. I don't think there's anything wrong with a guy that says, you know what? There are way too many. I'm gonna live like be a monk in the woods. If a guy says, you know what? Women are not worth commitment. I might date some girls casually, but that's it for me.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
Don't get married if you don't want to be with. You know what I mean? Marriage isn't for everybody. Some people should stay single because that's who they are. They are so self-involved that they don't have room for anybody else in their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you heartless. Doesn't make you mean. The fact that you don't need to be married is cool. But don't drag somebody into your, if you're solipsistic, just be alone.
One of the major reasons why people aren't getting married is because a lot of men don't want to commit anymore. They're terrified of the thought of divorce proceedings and the financial implications of it. So you've got a whole vast group of men in the last 10 to 20 years who are saying, I don't need this commitment. I can just live with them.
Okay.
And that is why there is that change in the statistics. There's also a drop off a little bit of divorce statistics because, of course, if less people are getting married, less people are getting divorced.
Of course.
But the statistics of people living together are increasing.
Sexless marriages, horrendously high. These guys are married, they've committed to one partner, and they're having sex once every 2 to 3 weeks. And when they're having it, it's vaginal masturbation. But dudes are driven by sex. Doesn't matter if you're taking tea or not. Guys want to have sex. And men who are married want to have sex with their wives. The only problem is most guys have this up so bad in how they've dealt with their wife that she has shut down and turned off. So then comes the next challenge. These guys get a divorce. And this woman they were with, who is pushing away sex forever, all of a sudden becomes a complete 9 guys in the next 2 months, goes to the gym, gets fit, and he's looking at me going, what the fuck? All I wanted was to have sex with this woman. I chose her. And now she's down the street having sex with dudes at the bar, going to the club, going to parties with her friends, acting like she's 20 years old. Everybody.
Nobody has the balls to say this, but it's important. This is the #1 problem with Western marriage today. If a judge can seize your assets, freeze your accounts, and cage you for non-compliance, why is only one side enforceable? See, you're compelled to provide, you're compelled to protect, and you're compelled to pay for infinity. She can withdraw affection, withdraw intimacy, withdraw everything, and the state still shows up for her with guns. Why isn't intimacy mandatory? That's state-backed asymmetric violence. Men are bound by law, but women are just bound by their moods. If only one side can be punished, marriage is just a trap enforced at gunpoint and dressed in vows.
Part of why I do this is I believe the role of the husband is being devalued more and more. So more single guys don't find the value in why they should be husbands. So if I can have sex outside of marriage, if I can have a baby, and be a father, then why should I commit? Right? Which is a valid question. And so I think it's the responsibility of those who are in the game, husbands, to then try and raise the value of why it is that dudes should aspire to be married, right?
We got to stop putting this all on men. They have to. I understand what you're saying. I know where you're coming from, but we got to stop putting this all on men. A man is like a dude in the comments was saying, he can do as much as he can. He can do all that he can. But if the woman don't want to be there, the woman don't want to be there. She just doesn't. She don't want to do it. I can't force her. Oh, well, you got to be the man. You got to take charge. I can do all of that. But she don't want to do it. Unless you're physically putting your hands on some of these women, they don't want to do it. And what man wants to do that? What man wants to go to those lengths? What man wants to sit up here and body slam and choke slam his wife? Who wants to do that? Come on, man. So at some point in time, we have to recognize that a lot of these brothers don't want to get married because these women are not listening. I can already see from the jump, you're not going to cooperate. So we're not going to get married. I'm not going to commit to you. It's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. I'm not going to commit to you. You're not somebody that I see as a viable candidate, a viable option long term. It's great to have you here. You're a great person, but I can see right now you're not going to be listening.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily?
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. And most times, because in society, they make you feel like you need to get married and start a family, they choose the person that they like the most. Maybe even they love the most in that moment. But marriage is not something that should be based inside of, I like this person enough. They were persistent enough. They were romantic enough. Marriage, to make it in the long haul, has to be rooted in something real, like God, purpose, and alignment, similar core values. And so if you don't have that, a man really doesn't want to get married, but if he does get married and it's not rooted in the right things, she will leave. So a woman is leaving if she's doing wrong partner choice. And if the man is doing wrong partner choice, if we're doing wrong partner choice, then you shouldn't want to get married.
Right.
But you should absolutely want to get married if you are aligned with someone rooted in God, rooted in your purpose, and submitted to the mission of alignment for your life, in my personal opinion. So women don't leave from that. Truly, it's hard for a woman to leave. And if you know who you are and what you actually want, because a lot of us think that we want these high earning, high value masculine men. And then you realize they don't have all the time for you. They may not be the most romantic. If you've had a long day, they might not say, baby, come here, let me rub your feet. They might, but they also might not. Right. And so inside of that, are you okay with the person that you've chosen as a woman choosing that man? Or are you just like, I'm okay with having a loveless, passionless relationship because he pays the bills?
Yeah, that's why I left my marriage. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
A lot of times we overlook red flags. And
did you know most people break up a year or 2 years or 3 years later for the same red flag they saw in the first week?
That's insane.
There's a really great book.
And I believe His Needs, Her Needs.
That's a great book.
Is a good one. And Liberty Through Submission is a great one too.
And also 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged.
I've never heard of that.
It's a great book.
I'm going to buy that.
It's a really great book.
That's really great. We need to have like an Amazon book list.
We need to have an Amazon book list.
For sure. 1000%.
Why are young black couples not getting married? Specifically, why are young black men not asking?
Because you can wake up and say, I don't want you no more. And the court going to give you the kids. They're going to give you the custody. And they're going to give you all the money. The money. That's why. And it's very sad. We living in a world now where the women are more like men, acting more like a man, even though you're not a man. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the truth. It's not a lie. I'm not giving you my opinion. I don't believe in opinions. I know they're going to be mad at that. I believe in perspective that's supported by facts, data, and statistics. And if you look at the statistics, Kevin Samuels told you to go look at blackdemographics.com. If you do that, you can be able to tell what's going on. Don't be mad at me. It's just information. This is why. What's the incentive? What if he cheat? He gonna cheat if he's a certain type of man. He might lose his job. She can leave. I don't like him no more. Look how his teeth went crooked. He got great nose hairs. I'm gone. I don't want. And the court gonna grant you a divorce, and you finna. Okay, brothers. Tell us why you don't want to get married, young man. They need to update the certificate. They need to update it. And why is it that the state had to? All right.
Somebody just
just put in the comments, Mr. Lego, why is it so undesirable when black people do it?
Do
Why
what?
is it when black women are like loud? If it was a white woman, we'd be like, oh, she turned up, she lit, you know,
Well,
or we'll take it as a different way.
We're
Like,
not
it's not
choosing
ghetto, it's just
that
like,
white woman either. What we are doing as men is we're choosing women who are, regardless of what the race is, the first woman that I can meet that isn't masculine, that isn't argumentative, that is cooperative, that isn't defensive, that isn't a victim to every goddamn thing, that is open to being led by a man, that doesn't have baby daddies all over the place. She's not combative. She doesn't say I'm independent. She's not argumentative. She's not just trying to debate with every damn thing the man says in normal conversation. So he's like, oh, okay, I'll take her. We'll take the person.
What man in his right mind would get married in the West?
I feel like the sanctity of marriage is not respected by men or women nowadays. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Of course it's not. It's destroyed. So in the West, it doesn't even make logical sense for a man to get married. Why would he? I mean, you have to be an idiot. You have to be a simp or emotionally, like, I'm at the point now where I see a man in the West, and I'm not going to talk about the Arab world because it's different. There's a lot more tradition here. It's many years behind. But if I see a man in America getting married, I look at him like he's a simp. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're a dummy. For what? What are you marrying her for? Like, I mean, okay, if she's your high school sweetheart, cool. But no, she's not. She's a stripper. You met her in a club in Miami. So what are you doing? Why are you marrying her? The average woman on the street, if you ask her what she wants to do, she says, I want to go to school and I want to go to college and I want to have fun and I want to explore and I want to travel the world and I don't want to listen to a man and I want to go all around the world. I want to go backpacking and I want to go to Dubai and I want to go on a boat. And then when that's all done, maybe when I'm 35, then I want to meet a nice man. Then I want to settle down. When men hear this, we're saying, okay, so you want to run around and sleep with everybody. You want to be a slut. And then you want some dude to pick up and pay the bill at the end. No, I don't want to do that. Any man who's optimized for competence refuses to do that. Now, if I, right now, in a hypothetical, because I don't talk about my personal life very much because I have enough enemies. If I went out there and met a virgin, 23-year-old religious woman who had never been with a man, who's going to obey everything I say and trust me to guide and lead her, would I marry her? Yeah, of course. It's not about being anti-marriage. What I am is anti the choice of wives that exist in the world today. If I'm going to go to Miami and meet a girl and be like, oh, she's my girlfriend now, and people say, so when you getting married, you've been together a while, I'm going to say fucking never, because I don't know what she was doing before I met her. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be that guy. And the reason I'm not going to be that guy is because I have been the guy who looks at a girl getting married thinking, bro, if you knew what I knew about her. I can't be that guy. I'm sorry, I can't. And most men optimize for competence can't. There's not a single man out here in the modern world of this misandrous, matriarchal world where everything about being a man is demonized. If you're remotely masculine, you're called every name under the sun, who's going to go out there, dedicate himself, work hard, be motivated, struggle to become rich and important and successful and finally make it out the matrix, the 0.001%, to then pick up some woman who'd been running around doing whatever she wants and just marry her and spoil her so that she could eventually take half his stuff. Men aren't doing that. And it's women's fault.
I see that.
Men don't marry the love of their lives. That's something that women do. Men marry the woman who's there when he is ready. Let me explain. Most people think that a man should be ready by 30 or 35, 36, 40, whatever it might be. In reality, a man's readiness does not correlate to his age. A man's readiness correlates to his clarity. Let me explain. By the way, I'm Taylor Love. I help explain the man brain. If you like that kind of stuff, hit the follow button. So as you know, it's very common for a guy right around the age of 36 to feel ready to be in a long-term relationship and commit to someone long-term. But the reason for that is very misunderstood. Most people think it's because he's that age, there's a time in his brain development or something to that extent. And in reality, it's because he explored himself in his 20s. He found his purpose in his early 30s. He knows where he's going by the age of 36. And therefore, he knows what type of partner he wants by his side to help him to get to where he's going. Men are logical thinkers. We are building a team when we're taking on a partner. We're thinking about our strengths and weaknesses, and do they complement, they augmented by the strengths and weaknesses of our partner. Whereas women are typically thinking about, do I love him? Do I feel loved? I'm going to anticipate loving him and feeling more love in the future. Therefore, a woman at 22, 42, 32, 36, 26, whatever, will jump into a relationship and be committed because she anticipates feeling more of that love. Men are different. That means if a guy's gone through a divorce, let's say, around 32, he's probably not going to be ready by 36 because his clarity clock started from 0. So the questions to ask a man to figure out, is this a guy who's going to be ready or not, are not, how old are you? Or when do you want to have kids? Or what do you do for a living? The question to ask is, look, I know you're a builder and you really get things done. I really respect that about you. I'm curious, what are the things that you would want to have in place before you get married and have kids? This is an Alison Armstrong question. Highly recommend her work. What are the things that you would love to have in place before feeling ready to have kids and get married? And you will be surprised by how much thought every guy has put into that question, how well he can articulate the answer to him, which then gives you the opportunity to lean into your nature, which is men present, women choose. Based on his answers, you can choose if this is a man that you want to spend time getting to know more, diving into, or if this is a guy who's probably not going to be ready for the next 10 years. For more info in 90 seconds that saves you 10 years, hit the follow button.
I posted a video about guys not knowing what they want in their 30s, and let me tell you, the comments have me like shook. The amount of men saying that they don't want to get married because they don't want to have to take care of a woman is like absolutely mind-blowing to me. Like, love is dead. It's dead.
For anyone that has listened to men in the last decade, this should not be surprising. Because let's face it, ladies, men are no longer to expect anything from a woman in marriage. Because when they talk about expectations, especially on social media, they get put through the ringer. And that has leaked into the real world. Like, men have a lot to lose when it comes to relationships, especially marriage. They are expected to give without requiring or wanting or asking for anything in return. A lot of men that have experienced that feeling in a real life relationship that he's been through, he has decided to remain single rather than put himself through that again. And honestly, what he sees on social media just reinforces that. It's really only until he finds a good woman in real life, he finds that unicorn, that will ever be broken down. And that does happen occasionally. But for the rest of the guys, they would rather be single.
And this is what I mean by asking better questions. This is what I mean by asking better questions. Modern women, you can sit at home and think about these things and try to figure out, okay, how do I ask? What do I ask? How do I phrase it in such a way that it's not going to be offensive? All of those things. You're literally doing the same thing that you want the man to do for you. That's it. And you stop running into these knuckleheads.
Because I know my worth and I make a lot of money and I'm pretty.
No, not at all.
Being pretty don't even ensure that you will get a ring. Men don't marry looks. We have sex with looks. Men marry behavior. Your behavior determines whether you get the ring or not the looks. Halle Berry is beautiful. Kim Kardashian is beautiful to a lot of people. There's a slew of women that have the money and the fame, but they cannot keep. We marry behavior. So if you are not even proficient at the things that are intrinsically important to a man, you can't be high value because your money ain't intrinsically important to us. You being soft is. You anticipating what we need and providing that without us having to prompt you or ask you, that's important. Not knowing your worth.
If your husband doesn't generate dates, it's because dates aren't important to him. That's why it's on you to generate the date. And he'll want to know where you want to go instead of picking the restaurant. Why? Because he wants to make you happy.
So are dates more for women than for men?
A lot of times, yes. Whatever's important to us, if I'm asking you to be accountable for something that's important to me, and I ask you what you need, I'm hoping what you need from me is going to be the initiation of the whole process. Men don't care a lot about what they like to do or want to do. No, I don't want to load the dishwasher. Will I? Yes. If it makes a difference for her. And I don't have to load the dishwasher the way she loads the dishwasher. Unless I'm certified. That's the tail end. Anything that you cause, like with what you're going to learn in the Queen's Code about how to tell a man what you need, it'll have it done once. If it's not appreciated, it won't be done again.
You want to know why married men are silently suffering today? I'll tell you why. Because marriage, as it's practiced today, demands his patience, taxes his sanity, and punishes his leadership. Therapy tells men to tolerate pain, kids get weaponized, alimony gets leveraged, intimacy gets withheld. And when he submits just to keep the family together, you call him weak. Now, if you're a woman listening, don't tune this out. Don't roll your eyes. Because if you've ever wondered why your husband shut down, stopped talking, or looks like he's carrying the weight of the world in silence, this is it. This isn't hate. This is the reality men are too afraid to admit out loud, because every time they do, you further emasculate him. Men aren't quiet because they're fine. They're quiet because speaking costs them more. These ain't excuses. These are the brutal truths married men won't say out loud. Watch this all the way through, or keep pretending marriage isn't breaking men in silence. Now, as a husband, a father, and relationship consultant, I'm not speaking theory. I'm speaking from experience and from what I've seen countless men go through. In this video, you're going to learn the brutal truths about why married men are silently suffering today. You're going to see how therapy conditions men to tolerate pain, how wives weaponize kids and leverage alimony, how intimacy gets withheld and masculinity gets broken down, and why even after separation and divorce, the suffering continues. Most importantly, near the end of this video, you'll learn the only path men have to escape this cycle, and why without God's alignment, marriage becomes a trap instead of a covenant. First reason, therapy conditions men to tolerate pain. Let me rephrase that. More often than not, therapy will give you the tools so you can tolerate and endure the pain you will continue to receive from your wife for the entirety of your marriage. You see, when a man is struggling in marriage, what's the first thing he hears? Go to therapy. But therapy doesn't always fix the marriage. Too often, it teaches men how to numb themselves. Instead of addressing the disrespect, instead of correcting the rebellion, therapy just programs men to absorb it, to sit there quietly while his wife chips away at his peace, to cope instead of confront. And ladies, this is the part you never see. Your husband doesn't come back from that counseling session healed. He came back trained to bite his tongue, trained to swallow disrespect, trained to endure things that are slowly killing him inside. That's not healing, that's conditioning. Therapy is supposed to rebuild a marriage, but for too many men, it teaches them how to suffer in silence.
I have a question for the men. Do you guys still want to get married?
Oh, Jesus Christ, not again. Are they ever going to stop asking this question? All right, once again, ladies, I know you don't want to hear this, but no, not anymore. Men are done. Done with marriage, done with relationships, and you only have yourselves to blame for it. Y'all told us to leave you alone. Y'all told us you were strong and independent and didn't need no man. You told us you don't want us, don't need us, and that you're better off without us. And we heard you. We heard you loud and clear. And then we decided to go and do our own thing. And guess what? We found out that we don't need you either. In fact, what we really found out is that we're actually better off without you. We're happier. We're healthier. We get to keep our own money for ourselves. We can do what we want when we want. And most important of all, we found peace. Glorious, blissful peace. So now we're done, and we aren't coming back. So you can all keep asking this question over and over all you want, but the answer is not going to change. You made your bed, ladies, and now you're going to get to sleep in it. Alone.
I cannot stress this enough. Men are not worth settling for in any circumstance, any way, shape, or form. It's not worth it. Like, we're so indoctrinated to believe that, like, we have to get married. We have to, like, aspire to, like, having a relationship, having a man in our lives. Like, the goal shouldn't be to get married. The goal should be to be happy. So if a man in your life is not making your life better, easier, happier, more enjoyable, like, there's no reason he should be in your life. At least when men settle for a partner, they get like a personal assistant, a house manager, a nanny, a chef, a therapist. What do women get when we settle for a man that treats us like less than the way that we want to be treated? We get emotionally, physically, mentally drained. It is not worth it. Once you get to the like mindset that like men are not worth settling for, that is when you get the good men, because they're the only ones that you'll accept.